So let me open up the projects. I have, what's this? That's fine. Okay, this is the backend here, and we've made a couple of modifications to the way that the currency system works. If we look at my entities now, I have a currency, which is here, and then when a room is created, I make a currency room along with it, which makes duplicates of all of the original currencies, and so that way you can override some of the properties for your individual room. They're not really necessarily copies because it is holding reference to the original currency. So because of this, I wanted to check in my services when I'm doing my add user. I should also be adding a room here. And then I also probably want to be doing the currencies for that, right? So if I look at you have something in here called check currencies room. And what this does is it iterates through all of my currencies and makes sure that a currency room exists, and if it doesn't, then it creates it. So when we do this, we want to do a await check currencies room. But it's opening a new context, so we want to do that after the save. So we want to do here, if my await context.save changes asynchronous is greater than 0, then we want to do this for my room. Yep. And then if we do it again, then I want to return. And then we want to do a return my await read application user asynchronous of my entity.id. Otherwise, I want to return null. So when you read your application user, we're going to also include the room.room currencies. No, we'll just do that. Okay, so then in my hub, when I'm invoking this thing, I hate the new MooBot. I'm really ready to leave them. They don't provide me the information that I need anymore. Which is super annoying. Okay? So in here, where I am creating a user in my onConnected, I should be sending application user here, which in my front end underneath the hub, we want to have a receive application user, which is only this one. That didn't pass the room information. That comes from the room hub. Yes, right here. So then when we receive the room, I want to make sure that this one includes the room currencies. But instead of this, we can do a var room currencies equals, it's called currencies room. Currencies rooms equals await my context dot currencies rooms dot where my s dot room ID is equal to entity dot ID and it's active. And that will already populate the entity, and then now we can map it across. You also have it again here, where we want to do a currencies rooms and add that in right here. Okay. So that means that back in the room hub, when we connect, we're going to receive room information. This is my read currencies rooms, which is a VM. But what I want to make sure is that this thing has all the right currencies. So I'm going to say var currencies equals my await service dot check, and we want to pass in here my room dot ID, and this is a list of currency room VM. K Collie RF, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, what I'm working on, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat. And then here, now that you have each of the currencies in the room, when you read the currencies in a room, you also want to start by checking it. So that's right. And then this is called application user room currency room. You can call me Frylock. Oh, okay, Frylock, I know who you are. You're in my Discord. Our Discord. And what I want to get now is I want to do a await my service.read application user room currencies room for your application user room ID. So when you look at this one, I'm receiving my currency room and my room, but it's never actually created them. So this one, what you're doing is you're getting your application user room, and then you're getting all the currencies in the room, and then for each of them, you're looking for it, and if it is null, then you create it. And when you're done, you return them all. So I'm going to call this check application users rooms currencies. So like this, and I'm going to do a await this one first of my application user room ID. And I think we're going to do the same thing on this one. but not on this one. So now we should be able just to do a read applications, users, room, currencies, rooms, which should be called a you also have that as a check. And we can get rid of this one. And this is now check application, user, rooms, currencies for this room ID. Equals that. And then there's my data. Okay, we can give it a run now. You guys want to play some Hungry Hungry Zombies? Okay, and then, hey there, Bogey Wagon, how are you doing? This one is in my room hub, and I'm saying that I want to check application, users, rooms, currencies. And there it is. Give it a run. Get your votes in for the game. Okay, so the back end is running. We can check the front end, which is running. So we'll go to the app. We'll go ahead and log in. Here we go. So at the moment, I don't think I have anything in here except for I can make a playlist. My currencies doesn't seem to be populating. Let me log out and log out again. And then I'm probably going to need to redo my database is what I'm guessing. Hey there, THICC Ogre, how are you doing? We need to fix these graphics, so we can do that today. Still fighting me on these currencies. So let's log into my FreeNAS here. And give me a second to put in a password. It'll be really fast. Okay, I'm back with you. And then when I refresh my databases, I can delete. Well, we got to make sure our votes match there. THICC Ogre, so I'll go with you on that vote A. And we want to get rid of this one. And then in the back end, just to be safe that I didn't change anything, I can get rid of my migrations. We can do a add migration init. Okay, now we can do an update database. That'll also seed my database. Hey there, Boogie Wagon. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Thanks so much for the support. If you haven't, make sure you check out our Discord, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. We also put all these videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Help me play this game, though, Boogie. My uptime never got started. Okay, now we can run it. We can take a look here at this end. I want to follow on the back side to make sure that my check is working. So in my room hub, when we are doing this check, it'll log me in. To the room. It'll now check my currencies. It creates it. Life is good. And there they are. If I look at currencies, there they are. And these are not editable. If we want to create a playlist, I can do this. And we'll say it's the default. And in it, I can say I want to add here a Miley Cyrus Party USA. And we'll search. And here I can add it. So that's working. Now when I go to my room, it should automatically start a song. Why isn't this passing? Oh, because this we need to do this and then this one. Hey there, DX3Burry. Welcome to the channel. Let's run it again. We'll log out, we'll log back in. What's going on here? Okay, it's connecting me up here. And it's failing. And so why is it failing? Because it's just indefinitely doing that. So we'll just move this up here. And then we'll do this again. And then I'll just map it and return it. And then I can scrap my return read user application rooms currencies. Move this one up here. Remove it from the interface. It built. Try it again. Good. Now it's working right. Perfect. Finally. Okay, so now what I want to do is if I do a logout and I log back in here as a different user, I see that, oh, no, it's starting just fine. So that's great. And now I can join the other room, which there isn't anything happening in it, but it's still currently offline. So we're good to go right now. The next thing that I want to do is let me look at my board. What programming language are you using? asks Matchbox. We are using ASP.NET Web API Core with SignalR for the backend. That's in C#, and then we're using Angular CLI, which is TypeScript for the front end. So a lot of this is done. A lot of this is done. But the next thing I wanted to do would be the add dirty rooms for room in there, and one for the title. So we're going to go work on 8 right now. So let me open up my source tree. Oh, there's a lot of those. Did it not open? There it is. And I can stage all this and I can say added. We're going to say this is time would be, how long have I spent on this? 2 hours and 30 minutes. My comment is going to be added PayPal for client side transactions, need to modify for server side transactions. We'll commit that out and push it out. And then I want to look at my development branch. And then I want to merge in my 9 and push that out. Oh, we didn't get it. What was the word? Inspires. Too bad. Okay, and now I can do a branch here for my OpenDJ-8. And we can push that out. Okay, this one's pretty straightforward. So now, in this one, we need to add a room title. So it's pretty straightforward. We want to look at my library here. And I'm going to add in my entities under my room, a room title. And then I want to have in the library under VMs for room a string here for a room title. And we need to add in the DTO here one for room title. We also want to have another one which is bool allow requests. Like that. We want to put that on the room here. And the entity for here. If I look at the board, we also need to add a room key. So we want to have a is room locked and a string here called a room key. So all of those. Again, we put that onto room here. Oops. Okay, and then we need to put that on the room VM. And then we also want to check the requests for a room update request. Oops. And then also my application user create. I don't want either of these. And I want some of this stuff on it, which is a room code, a room title. Is room public is true, is room allowed, allow requests, is room locked, room key, the number of users online. So just that. Are you creating a booking system? No, it's a song request system. It's actually almost completed, to be honest. So now what we need to do is update my interfaces on this side. This is currency room dot currency name. Okay. So if I look at my interfaces, up here under room, we want to also add in room title, which is a string. Is room public. Allow requests. Is room locked. And then another one called room key, which I'm not passing. So in room DTO, we definitely don't want to pass room key. Same thing in room VM, but we can do it in the update request. Okay. Now, what I can do is I can try to rebuild this. Okay, so it's happy with me now. So if I look at my room, the first one is the plural rooms. We want to look at my HTML, and I want to add in here a new ng container because we're using Angular material, and it's going to be called room title. And this is called room title. Like that. And all this is going to do is your element dot room title. We can actually do it like that and then drop off the TD. We need to add that into the TypeScript for the users to show, or the displayed columns. And then inside of a account, underneath room code, we need to have another one. Which is called room title. Like that, which is required. We need to have another one for is public and is online. No, we don't need is online, we just need the is public. And so to do this, it's an Angular material checkbox. we'll look at the code, which is just a mat checkbox. With a ng model of my is public. Is room public. And I'll add that down here under room title. The other one that we have is potentially we have is room locked. Oh, we have that's one. So like this. Is locked. And if it is locked, then we want to do if it is locked, then we want to have this be the room key, which will say enter room key, which will be called room key, and it's going to be required with a button that needs to make sure that room key exists. And this one's going to just do that. And that should be all of them. So now when I look at the TS, I need to have a is locked, which is a boolean, a room key, which is a string, we want to have a is locked here, which is a room key, it's a boolean, a room key, which is a string, and an is public, which is a boolean. So here we can do a this dot is locked is equal to user dot room dot is locked. This dot is public is equal to my user dot room dot is room public. Then you have the room key, so if this dot is locked, no, we'll just say this dot room key is equal to user dot room key. I guess we do want that in my interface for room. My bad. And then we want to add that over here on called room key. And I just want to make sure that that is what I call it on the entity. And then I want to add it onto the DTO. And then also onto the request. Okay. That's for setting that information. Now the next one here is your purchasable item. If you are selecting it, then this is going to request the items and navigate me to the cart. So here, if my room code is invalid, and then this one's going to be else if, and then this one's going to be another one like that. Else if this dot room title, don't you have room title? Hey there, Zishan Tomboli, welcome. How are you doing today? Else if this dot room title is equal to undefined, or this dot room title is equal to null, or this dot room title is equal to that, then we'll do this, which is a this dot toaster service dot error. You have entered an invalid room title. Please change the room title and try to save again. And that'll be invalid room title. Okay, the next one is if it is locked, it needs to have a room key. Else if, and then this one's going to say this dot is locked and this dot room key is equal to null or undefined, or this dot room key is equal to null, or this dot room key is equal to nothing, then we'll do this, which is a you have selected to lock the room but have not provided a room key. Please enter a room key and try to save again. And then this one's going to say invalid room key. It's almost done, right? Yes, it is. Okay. It says property room key does not exist on room on account component.ts. I don't think that's accurate. It says it's on iRoom. Doesn't have this component, which is not correct. So we'll cancel it, rebuild it. Launch the backend. Do I need to update the database? I think I do. If I look at my code first migrations here, I do need to update the database. Added fields to room. And I'll do an update database. On this side, it's built correctly. I needed to make sure that an account, when I'm making my account create request here, this needs to have more things in it. It's going to have room code, room title, is room public, neither of those. Allow requests, is room locked, and then room key. So I'm going to get rid of this one and this one. And the next two are room title, is room public, is room locked, allow requests, and room key. So the only one you don't have is allow requests, which is here. We need to add it in here. And then also here. And then finally over here we want to add it in as another one of these called allow requests is room is allowing requests. Which backend language would you recommend? ASP.NET or any other? I really like ASP.NET Core and regular MVC. I like it a lot. I really like C#. Other people like Node.js a lot. You can use React with Node.js. I think those two go together. Maybe it doesn't go, but you can use Node as a backend if you want, which is JavaScript. But I really like C#. You can also use some PHP if you want, but I don't have experience with PHP, so I might not be the right person to talk to about that. So now when I look at this thing, and I log out and I log in, no problem. I do a lot of ASP.NET. I don't like it so much for the front end. Razor and those partial views are not the most fun, but it works. The backend language is where it's really strong. Okay, so that's good. And now when I look at my rooms, it has room title, which I don't have anything. And if I look at my account, I should see if it is show rename, then we're going to show this, but it's not. It's still showing it. It's because this one is the username and this one is the What made this change so much? Something made this change a lot. Was it me removing the form? No. If I was to remove some of these things here, now it's back to looking normal. It's definitely in here. So why aren't these form boxes? This is not working. Hey there, Hoppy222. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions what I'm working on, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Because like, what if I did like an appearance here of a outline? See, these aren't taking any more of these. Hey there, SQL Squid. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's go to those ones. That's right. Says the room is locked. We have to check that. On the entity for room is locked is false, so that's okay. So we'll just add this one as room public and see what that does. Cool Keymap, how'd you get it? I searched online for a Node.js Keymap. It was hosted for HTTP, and then I just run it locally on my machine. And once I add this in, it breaks. So is this a one-way binding? No. Let me go ahead and remove this stuff and go to Notepad. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for it again in my Angular material checkbox. I need a real world example. Matt content card. Okay, let's try that. So here I'm going to do a Matt card class equals nothing. And then in the card, I want to have a mat card content. And then I want to do my mat checkbox of called a mat checkbox with the ng model equals is public. And that did it. That's not letting it break now. So maybe I should put all these on a map card here. Like that, like that. You know, it looks a little different. It's nothing noticeable. Is programming in general something only some people can be it successfully at naturally, or is it a skill that can be learned? I think all skills can be learned over time. Definitely, I think programmers have to learn the skill to program. It's not something you just are born with. So if instead of having this in a card, I just did a div, with nothing on it. That works. So that's the problem, is that it just needed some divs. Okay, so we'll move this stuff back. Okay, we have is public. Is locked. We have one for the if it is locked. And then the last one here is room allowing requests. Okay, so now when I look at the back end, allow requests should always be defaulting to true. And then in your requests, allow requests should be true. Being a logical person is something which is probably harder for some people. Well, that's true, but you know, there's not all parts of programming are logic based. I'm starting computer science classes in a few weeks. I like the challenge programming brings, but I hope I don't suck. Just have to fake it till you make it. Believe in yourself and you'll get it. And never stop learning. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely don't stop very much. And most developers I know, they kind of work a lot because you're always trying to learn new stuff. So we'll save it. We'll run it again. When I look at account, it's looking better. Let's log in here. There it is room public. So now this one is going to be live or devs tryings retreat. I'll say it's allowing requests and I'll submit it. You have selected to lock the room, but have not provided a room key. Just a second. If this dot is locked, and one of these things. Are you sure you would like to update your information? Yes. So now it's been updated. If I look at rooms, probably hasn't updated there. Oh, it never updated my account information. Let me make sure of that. If I log out and log back in, yeah, it didn't. So now when I look at my object here, which is called request, I'm going to do a console.log here of my request. And then I also want to look at my backend on the hub. For here, we should have a update application user information here, which should have more than this on it. It needs to also have the this stuff. So it doesn't have this one, it doesn't have that one, it has a room code, it has a title. Hey there, SteinSpa11, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions what I'm working on, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Is room public, is room online, allows request, room key, looks good. Try it again. We'll log out. We'll log in. Why you choose that? What did I choose? My playlist count is off. My playlist song count is off, so I need to fix that. When I look at the object that I created, allow requests is true. There's the ID. Is room locked is false. Is public is true. Room key is nothing. Room code. Room title. So back on the back end, it wasn't running. You don't update that one there. Yes, it is, but it's not public. Some of my code is public, but not this project. Let's run it again. Okay, now when I look at this, good, but I wasn't assigning enough of these. So we have a request dot now you have one here for username. That's not true. You can't do that here. Like that. You've got request dot allow requests, request dot is room locked, request dot is room online. You have a request is room public. You have a request dot room code, a request dot room key, and a request dot room title. So you've already done that one. This one goes to entity dot room dot allow requests is equal to this. And then I can duplicate this stuff here. Like that. Give it another run. Curious, how did the third-party login with like Twitch and Google? I'm using third-party OAuth. So they have OAuth, it's called OAuth 2.0. It's an authorization protocol that Facebook offers and Google offers and YouTube offers. And Pixel Horror Studios offers it. I'm using Identity Server 4 for my authorization server, and so I'm using a third-party plugin for that to manage it. And then the Identity Server is a standalone app. Okay, and we'll say it's allowing requests and I'll save it. This time when I update my user information, it looks good except for my playlist song counts went to 0. We'll have to fix those, but that's easy. Okay, and now when I look in the rooms, there it is. Now we need to add some spacing onto this. So on the front end, under Rooms, Components, I should have a Users Online. I should have one here for a room title and one for a room name. We want to add in this padding here. For the room title off of the right side, we want 50. On this one, we want 50 and 50. That looks a little better. Okay. So let's log in as another user now. Another user. Okay, it made my currency. If I look at my rooms, that's fine. If I look at my account, it's not showing. It never downloaded my account. That's interesting. Fascinating. So on a new login, it never downloaded my account. But there it is. And there's 1 in 30. If I was to say, like that, and I confirm it, now when I look at my account, good. And we can look at the rooms, and I should see 2. And I can join this one, and there's currently nothing happening in this room. So when we created the new user here in OpenDJRadio on connected, mapping this user here to receive application user, which should, in your app component TS, application user subscription right here, which means that a room service shouldn't start until when you connect here. It does a nothing. It's going to kick it back here to my receive room information here. But this should only start when so if this.hub is connected and this.hub service.application user exists, then we can connect to the hub. Otherwise, I want to have a new subscription up here called a application user received subscription. And I'll add it in right here as a new application user room subscription on my hub service called get application user. We're going to subscribe my application user here, and all we're going to do then is the connect. So if I log out, log in here with a third account. Hey there. Welcome, CM Griffin. How are you doing? Welcome with the raid of 31, Mr. Bankster. Hello, how are you? CM Griffin, thank you for the raid. Well, hi, raid. Oh, Chris laughed. How are you guys doing? In case you don't know me, my name is Rob. I'm streaming during the week, a little bit during the weekend. We're working on OpenDJRadio, getting it ready for release. Should be released before the end of this weekend. What we're working on right now is we're stepping through and making sure that everything is loading in the correct order when we're logging on right now onto a new chat, and then also making sure that the account information is being populated. And then when that's done, we're using this Jira board here, which is what I'm stepping through. So I've added the room key and the open requests on user. We need to add in an API here to make sure that we remove dirty words from usernames and room titles. These two get closed out. This PayPal we're currently doing on the front end, but I know we're going to want to be moving it to the back end, so that's something that I may or may not do on stream. We have a couple more validations and pieces, but we're definitely making our way through this app. If you have any questions, make sure that you pop them into the chat. We got an active and supportive community. Make sure you check us out at the Discord, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com, and I put all these videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Let's play a quick game. What do you guys say? Is there a GitHub for this project? I'd love to take a look. It's just a private GitHub at the moment. I don't have it sanitized. Okay, so we'll go ahead and run it. We just started some Hungry Hungry Zombies. Oops. Which is here. So make sure you guys get your votes in. And now we're going to try to... Oh, I forgot to add my subscription into my destroy. Hey there, MPEGJ. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, please pop them into the chat. We got a really active and supportive community. Make sure that you check them out at discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Is that a full arm tattoo? Yeah, my right one's done. My leg's done. Some of my left arm's done. Okay. So this, dot that, dot unsubscribe. Okay. I'm working on a new project with Angular CLI, ASP.NET Core MVC. Why MVC? Just use the Web API on it and SignalR, and it looks like I could learn a lot from your project. Yeah, my back's done too. So this time when I log out and I log in as a new user, we'll use this account this time. Try it again here. My backend wasn't running. We use MVC to serve the index with Razor components and then let Angular take over. Oh, I made mine just a full standalone Angular project. Angular CLI is really powerful. I saw that they integrated the two, but I didn't like that. Okay, so that's working. We'll go back, try the other account. I might have to restart my accounts, but that's no worries. So on a new account, I never see it authing in. But now it will, so we need to fix this. Because it'll work this time. No, it's not loading. So let me log out, try it again, see what's happening. There you go. We don't want to run Node on our project server just like IIS serve the pages. Well, that's what I do as well. I'm using IIS to serve my Angular app. I don't like Node. I mean, I don't hate it, but I just don't use it. I don't think it's robust enough sometimes. Okay, so it didn't have the user, so this time it's going to try to look for the room code, which is equal to that. So there is one, so it adds a room code. So my new room code is with a 0. We attach the room here, and it fails. So why is that failing? I'll log out. Thanks for the info. Love the stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. What's AOT? We need to agree, says Lynx the Cat. We can't get any right. Yeah, you guys got to agree. Or have a majority. Try it again with the other account. Have you done any GraphQL? No, I've heard of it though, but I haven't done any of it. I put the breakpoint in the wrong function. We'll run it again. Nice, you got 2 of them there. So here I'm going to map my request. We'll add it. We'll create the room. I'll add the application user room. And I'm going to save it. So in my OpenDJ hub, where I'm running my catch, did I not update my database or something? Cannot insert duplicate row object with the unique name username. Easy enough. So up here where we're creating we'll do this thing. And we'll say this prevents 2 users from having the same username. And it's going to be application users any where my username.trim is equal to my username.trim.toLower. Then I'm going to do this equals your username plus the index 00. Try it again. So we need to get our dirty word filter hooked up soon. Good. We'll log out. We'll log in with the other account. This time it's going to run successfully. Created my user, and if I look at my account, everything's updated. And we can go ahead and submit the changes. We can look at the play on the rooms, and there it is. And then if I really wanted, one thing I could do is I could look at my Rob equals experience here under account, and I could lock the room and say that this is Shinobi. And we'll save it. And when I look at my rooms, now it's locked and I can save it. And it's good. I can change my username here to something. It'll charge me $1 here, which I can just run through my PayPal. Okay. So that was successful. So now if I look at my account, it's changed my username. Good. So that's good. So I need to add in here on the back end, which is when you are getting your rooms. In this one, you have request rooms. We want to get all of the rooms which are online and public, and they are not. Oh no, we don't care if they're locked. So I need to have a new column on my rooms HTML, which is called is locked. And this is going to be your is locked. And we want this to be a, yeah, just like that. And then I'll add this here as a is locked. It could be. I'm into that. Locked, it doesn't say. We'll log in. When I look here again for is locked, it is room locked. There, is room locked. So let's add in some spacing here, like this. Not enough. This one, we want to add some padding onto this one too. Like that. And at some point, this should go offline because of my ping service. So maybe we need to reduce that time length. We'll check it here in a moment. Oh, the ping service isn't running at the moment. That's why. Let it run. And it should clean it up here. This one. If I look here at my ping service, we want to check there. Okay, here we go. We're going to check to see if my total minutes is less than 3, which it's not yet. See, that's the problem. So if I was to comment this out to 1 minute, I don't have that much up on the GitHub, but you can check it out at and then now you guys can check to see what your current fruit is by running HHZ. And now the rooms are getting cleaned out. Looks good. So we now have it with a is locked, is public, is room allowing requests. Hey Lynx the cat, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, please put them into the chat. If I look here, I'm going to say div ngIf and it's going to be my you have this dot room dot allow requests. Like that. So every time we get the room now, and then in my component here, if allow requests, then my class will be my content flex song queued. Like that. So now when I look at a room, it should always have that request a song unless in my account I turn off that it's allowing requests. Now I don't have that. I only have the 3. But I do also want to say bool, it's called is room owner is a boolean. And when this happens, I want to get this dot room dot application, isn't it this dot room service dot application user room dot is owner? And we're going to say that it's this dot is owner room owner equals that. And so now we can say and it's not is room owner. So now even if it has and then Hill will do an alert, this is room owner. True. Or it is room owner. Now we're good. So if we lock the room and we say it's Shinobi, Then when we try to join it, it should ask us for that room. So in my Angular modal input, if I looked at my shared confirmation dialog, I don't think I'm using that. Yeah, I'm using this template. I'm not even using this HTML. So this is just a confirm or a cancel, so we need to make another one for a ng generate component called a room key. And we need to add that to my module app. Will you stay just a little while? Okay. And then what I need to do is bring that room key into my shared. Oops, I wanted to change that and call it a ng model room key modal. Bring that one in here. And now when I look at the HTML, we can get rid of that. When I look at the confirmation TS, we have this template. Which is here. And we're going to say, are you sure? Please enter the room key. And it's just going to be a dialog actions is going to have a input box, which we can get off of the anything really. So a playlist, a chat, input box. We can get rid of a lot of this stuff here. We're going to say this is called room key. Enter room key. Like that. And then you have this actions here, which is just going to be this one, which is cancel. We're going to say cancel. And then this one is going to be... Now, I need to look at what data is. Data is data instance, which I'm setting down there. Right there. And then I also need to have my this stuff. This is called the data is, oh, I see. You have a confirmation modal data interface here. So I need to make one for this called we can get rid of this, and I can say that this is my I room key modal data, which is just going to be called room key, which is a string. So this is now I room key modal data. We can inject this one and then this one. And I think all of these go in the constructor. And then this one is my, hey there Southern Cross, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. This is my confirmation modal service, which I don't even need that now. On cancel, we need this one. And then, where am I even using this for my confirmation string? So now I can look at my app module, and we need to remove this one and put that one in shared and get rid of that one. Beck Bristow, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat. I'm watching people do hard coding. That's fun. Southern Cross, thank you as well for that follow. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, make sure you put them into the chat. We got an active and supportive community. Thank you for being a part. So if I look at this again, can I just do a is confirmed, which is a confirm boolean. Then I can get rid of this. No, because it needs to have that data in it. So we want to have this as a is confirmed is a boolean. And so this is data.roomKey and data.isConfirmed. Okay. That should be my modal. Now when I look at my app module, I want to add that here as a room key modal component. And now where it's time to use it, we need to look for map dialog. These toaster services. This is your confirmation model. So I'm actually inside of the rooms. And when you click on a room, it's not a link like this. It's going to take you to navigate to room, which is a room. What is that passing in? Room code. And then here we want to do a private, and it's called a room key confirmation modal, which is a room key modal component. And then we want to open one of these modals. Hold on, what is this? Where did this come from? Confirmation modal dot open. It's a map dialog. Like that. So this is a room key confirmation modal, which is going to pass in one of my room key modal, like that, with the data is confirmed and a room key of nothing. And then after we close it, if the result doesn't equal undefined, so this is going to be a and I want to say and my result dot room key does not equal to undefined and result dot room key does not equal to null and result dot room key does not equal to nothing, then we're going to fire a alert here which says success with room key, and then we're going to input result dot room key. And then we're going to navigate you to the element room code, which is your result, which is your this dot room. You really have room current in here. So when you're clicking this navigate to room, you want to do the room code. So we need to have a router in here. Hey, Southern Klaus, Southern Cross, welcome. Machine Gun Waller says, how long ago did you use the sleeve? Done looks good, thank you. It's a couple years old now. Looks like you're doing a DJ app that connects to the internet. Yeah, it's a app that allows you to listen to music in a group and then have the group make decisions with how the playlist goes. Like that. And then back over here now, this is going to be a click equals navigate to, is it called navigate to room? Passing in your element.room code. Like that. Look at a room, it's locked. It brought up the confirmation. Now it's not actually giving me that as a link. Why wouldn't it do that as a link? Okay, let's see what we get here. And I received false. I mean, that looks good. Data.room key. This is just returning is confirmed is its response. So couldn't I do a room key? Hey there, Metal Eagle. Greetings, how are you today? No, they're both undefined now. There, now that's working. So back in my interfaces, I can go ahead and get rid of this is confirmed. And then in my component where I'm couching this, if my result does not equal to null, success with the room key, and then we're going to navigate to my room code. So this one, I want to say, if I look at what I'm passing here, hey there, hexadecimal number, greetings, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. I'm doing fantastic, says Metal Eagle. I'm going to run a big welcome event for my game in an hour. I'm going to show off my new 8-player multiplayer support. That's very exciting. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. I want to pass in here an iRoom. And now I want to say, if my room.isRoom locked, we want to do this. We want to do this. Navigate to it. Else, because it is locked, we want to do this stuff. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay, and what about if I don't do it? It doesn't do anything. Wonderful. So why is this not displaying as a link? I'm going to do Angular CLI A. You want to say link, click, not hyperlink. So we could just do a router link equals nothing. And there it is. And now we need to have some action if you actually have the room key to go into that room. On this, I want to say on my Jira, I want to say add ability to queue an entire playlist into the queue. And then we also want to have one more, which is add ability to import YouTube playlists. So now the only thing left to do on this is and so now the only thing left to do on this is to make the validation here so that if it doesn't have the room, so we need to, on this, actually invoke my room method or my hub method. It's this dot hub service dot request auth to locked room. And I'm going to pass in that my result. So in hub service, we need to have a new function here called request auth to locked room, which is going to pass in here a room key, which is a string, and then a ID, which is a room ID, just a string. I'm going to do if this dot hub connection, then we're going to invoke it. This is called request auth to locked room, and we're going to pass in here I wonder if it'll let me do two parameters. So I could do a room key and then a room ID. So on the back end, on the hub, this is a public async task request auth to locked room, and it's going to pass in a GUID for my room key, a string for my room key, and a GUID for my room ID. And in this, I'm just going to do a console.writeLine test. So now when we can get access to the locked room, we need to lock it. It navigated me there. Request auth to locked room. And it wants my room dot, no, wants my result, and then my room.id. And then we don't want to navigate to it. Okay, and it fired, and I got my room key on this side of Rob, and a room ID here. So we're ready to test my auth. So one of the things that I need to do is I need to set up the API for a dirty word filter, because we don't want people to be able to make their usernames foul, or to be able to make their room titles foul. I don't care about it in the chats though. So we'll do that next. I'm going to do that off the air. I just have to set it up. I think we're going to be using something called Rapid API. There's a couple of them out there. Rapid API looks cheap and free. I mean, it looks free and it looks like it works. So we'll take a quick 12-minute break. Please enjoy the music. When we come back, we'll pick up right where we left off and continue forward with this, getting this app ready for release. After this, we need to make sure that the bad word filter gets put into place. And then if I check the board, I either have some logic to put in there regarding, potentially we need to add roles for individual channels, but that's something that we could potentially delay on. We need to add a couple of validations in there. And then the larger one is that we wanted to move the PayPal from being a client-side auth to being a server-side system. There are a couple other little things as well, but we can always add those features as the thing is live. So we're aiming to get this live before the end of the day. Thanks for staying with me through the break, and I will see you guys in just 12 minutes.